Today we are going to explore the life of Clark Hull, an American psychologist known for his drive theory and his research on human motivation. Clark was born in New York and raised on a farm in rural Michigan. He began his early education at a one-room schoolhouse. After graduating, Clark taught at the schoolhouse for a year before continuing his schooling at Alma Academy. Once he graduated from the academy, Clark put his education on hold for a year due to severe case of typhoid fever. By the age 24, he had contracted polio and became permanently paralyzed in his left leg, leaving him dependent on an iron brace and a cane to walk. Before facing many roadblocks, Clark wanted an education in engineering. Due to his poor health and financial struggles, Clark eventually redirected his interest towards psychology. With determination, he eventually earned his bachelor's and master's degree from the University of Michigan and was awarded his PhD from University of Wisconsin-Madison in 1918. Without a doubt, I think we can all agree that this man was a trooper. He was determined to pursue an education and didn't let anything stand in his way.
Clark started his work on learning theory of human motivation in 1929 until his death in 1952. Clark suggested that a behavior is reinforced when it meets some type of survival need. In 1943, he developed his drive theory. While exploring his theory, we can see that Hull was influenced by Darwin, since he believed that evolutionary process had an impact on human drives and behaviors. According to his theory, biological deprivation creates needs. These needs activate drives, which then motivate behavior. The resulting behavior become goal-directed, since achieving goals increases the survival of the animal. For example, when an organism is hungry or thirsty, they are driven to seek out satisfaction of their needs by eating and drinking. These drives are then temporarily reduced. Clark believes this reduction in drives serves as the reinforcement for behavior. Therefore, the stronger the physiological need or drive, the more immediate the reinforcement. Since Hull believed behavior to be a result of the complex interaction of the organism and the environment, he developed the theory of learning that could be expressed mathematically. He named his formula, which was created to explain human behavior, the mathematical deductive theory of behavior. Don't worry, I will not be troubling you with a lengthy description of the formula. Not only is the theory known for being overly complex, many of Clark's critics also suggested that the drive reduction theory failed to completely explain human motivation. In addition to his drive theory and research on human motivation, Clark Hull has also been associated with kickstarting the modern study of hypnosis. He used statistical analysis while conducting a rigorous study of hypnosis in his work Hypnosis and Suggestibility in 1933. Clark's experimental approach started with his attempt to address the extravagant claims made by hypnotists. Such claims included dramatically improving cognition and the senses due to hypnosis. In the end, Clark ended up discovering the reality of hypnotic anesthesia and post-hypnotic amnesia.
Clark's rigorous techniques and scientific methods contribute to the field of psychology. Although Clark's theory is no longer in use, his work has inspired and contributed to furthering the research of other psychologists. Many theories that emerged in the 1950s and 1960s with regards to motivation were either based on Hull's theory or they attempted to offer an alternative approach to his drive reduction theory. One great example is Abraham Maslow's famous hierarchy of needs, which was developed as an alternative to Hull's theory. Miller and Dollard broadly applied Clark's theory to include more social learning and imitation. However, they discovered that the motivating stimuli did not need to be tied to the survival need. Despite the popularity of Clark's theory in the 20th century, it started losing plausibility for many reasons. Clark's theory lacks generalizability as it places great emphasis on qualifying variables that are too narrowly defined. Another big problem with Hull's theory is that it doesn't account for how secondary reinforcers reduce drives. However, as we've learned in class, primary reinforcers as well as secondary reinforcers can be a powerful source of reinforcement. Another major criticism of the drive reduction theory of learning is that it doesn't account for people engaging in behaviors that do not reduce drives. Clark does not provide an answer for why people engage in activities that do not satisfy biological needs and that can also place them in danger, such as skydiving or bungee jumping. In conclusion, Clark Hull has provided the drive reduction theory as well as his learning theory on human motivation. Although we no longer directly use these theories, they have contributed to the field of psychology by motivating and enhancing future research.